Hello, the Federal Reserve, the US Central Bank, has increased its main interest rates by 25 basis points during its March meeting. The corridor now for the Fed fund rate is 1.50, 1.75%. The monetary policy is still accommodative. The level of current inflation rate is 1.7%. So the real interest rate with the Fed funds as reference is almost zero. 4 remarks on the Fed's decision. First, the macroeconomic framework is still very optimistic. The forecast for GDP has been increased compared to what was published in December. The unemployment rate will be lower, much lower than what we currently see, 3.6% in 2019 versus 4.1% in February this year. But in this framework, there is no spike in inflation. The inflation rate remained flat in 2018 and 2019. So the environment is still very optimistic, but still no inflation. The second remark is that the Fed, with the dot graph, said that it will increase its interest rates 3 times in 2018. It has already done one in March, 3 times in 2019, and 2 times in 2020. Third remark, what we perceive on the J. Powell positioning compared to what is expected by investors is that it is a little different from what was seen with Janet Yellen. Janet Yellen had a very simple positioning. She said, I'm the central bank, in a certain way, I don't care about investors. I decide, and the investors have to adjust from what I've decided. The J. Powell seems to be closer to investors' expectation than Janet Yellen was. So it's a little different environment. The second remark is that, the fourth remark, excuse me, is that the communication policy could change with J. Powell. During the press conference, we perceived that it could change in coming months. And until now, Ben Bernanke and Janet Yellen has been very transparent in their way to communicate what they will do and what they did on monetary policy. It could be a little less transparent. That's how I perceive it. And in that case, it will bring more uncertainty on monetary policy decision. That's something we have to take into account. And the last remark is that I think that 3 hikes in interest rates this year is not sufficient. We are in a situation where the unemployment rate is currently very low, the monetary policy is still accommodative, and we have a strong fiscal policy that will boost domestic demand in the US. It will create disequilibrium except if the central bank adjusts very rapidly its monetary policy stance. So we have to expect more than 3 hikes in interest rates during this year, during 2018. At the same time, the ECB will not change anything on its monetary policy. So at a moment in the future, we will see a stronger dollar that we currently see. Thank you.